Okay, remember, the prior video showed Onanda, broker I use, said of their retail client accounts, 76.8% lost money. We're just trying to be in that 23%, and we would prefer to be at the higher end because the guy at the lower end of that 23% only might have made $1. And for the purpose of this, we're trying to make $229. We're trying to double our $229. $229 is the margin required for one EUR USD mini lot using an Ananda here in the States, 50-1 leverage. That's all I'm going to focus on. Now, if you had an account with $229 in it, you could not, here in the States, using the things I just said, Ananda and all that, you could not buy or sell one mini lot. You can't do it. You have to have a little more. So keep in mind, our account must be 1,000, 5,000, something like that, to buy or sell one mini lot. That would give you way more enough room. You have to have that little buffer there. Now, it's not that much, but just keep in mind that. So, buffer aside, all I'm thinking about right now is that I have $229 I'm trying to double. If you want to think about that as my entire account, I'm okay with that because that's all I'm trying to double. But I have to have some extra money in there to back that up. 100 pips, the Euro USD here in the States, dollar-based account, is $100. So if I'm trying to double $229, that means I need 229 pips. Okay, how fast can I get that? I don't need to be a millionaire tomorrow, so I'm in no rush. The daily ATR is 76 pips, so I can't get it in a day. Very rare. Once every 10 years can you get it in a day, maybe. Once every 5 years. If everything went in your favor, it would probably take you 4 days at an absolute minimum to get it using the daily. Weekly, the ATR there is 138 pips. Can you get 229 in the weekly? Occasionally, but really, just between friends, forget it. You ain't doing it. Let's look at the monthly. Keep in mind how long your average hold time is. And I've written indicators there on AnyVid's site that will tell you how long your average trade length is. Keep in mind how long your average trade length is. If you want to be in that 23%, it might help, seems to help me, to have longer hold times. Give it time to do its job. The monthly ATR, 336 pips. So you can see, that doesn't mean you're going to make your 229 in a month, but the opportunity is there. This right here is the Euro USD daily chart, and all I did was I used that quick draw indicator. It's on AnyVid's site. You could set the distance between your lines. Here I set them every 229 pips. So there's 229 there, and then there's 229 there, and so forth, and all the way down. So you could see how many days that it would take on the daily. So if you had bought or sold, or let's say sold in this area, look how many days it would have taken before you would have made your 229. Let's just say you bought in this area. Look how many days it would have been. It would have been, 3 weeks or more. You just can't do it. Now here, had you bought just by chance or whatever, right there, you would have made it 1, 2, 3, and 4. You would have made it in 4 days. It's not going to happen that often. It's just not going to. You just not enough movement there. Everything has to be going in your favor. And my experience, not much goes in your favor. Let's move to the weekly. These lines are still 229 pips apart. You could see this is February 5th right now. Well, it's February 6th right now. This is last week. The EURUSD jumped hard last week. So you could have made your 229 if you had bought. I didn't buy. I was selling. But it tells you I didn't make mine, don't it? Look how many weeks it would have taken for you to make. These are still 229 pips apart if you would have sold here. Yeah, if you'd have sold there, you'd have made it in 1. If you'd have sold at the absolute top up there, you'd have made it in 1. You could see it takes multiple weeks most of the time. Now here, you'd probably made it and lost it, made it and lost it. You'd have been beat to death right there. But you'd probably be tired of trading by that time all that was done. But you can see it takes longer than a week. Let's go to the month. The month is where it's at. Now, if you looked at most any of these bars, I can see a few of them real quick. That one right there did not go the required 229. That one didn't. That one didn't. I mean, there are some months that don't, but the average will. So if you were trying to double that $229, which is what we're trying to do, we're trying to be in that 23% towards the top, and we're thinking about it as that $229 is all we got. If you used the monthly and had some signal on the monthly that ran a somewhat predictable amount each time, it would seem to be easier. Let's just look at this one, the last one. And you know how the TSR works. It takes, if it changed colors here, you really can't buy or sell or whatever to here. It changed on that bar, so you can't do anything till the next bar because you don't know if it's going to change until this bar. You know how that works. Sounds confusing, but you know how it works. If you'd have sold there on the TSR color change, there's 3 229s. Here, if you would have bought, I don't know if the signal's back here or if it's right there. I'm not sure because it's kind of all confused. But if you would have bought in this area here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and part more 229s. Here, you can see how many it is. I'm not going to count them every time, but you could see. Here, it would have been a close shot. It really would have been a close shot. It changed there. I mean, if you would have sold there, of course you could have made it. But maybe you might have wanted to wait and you didn't sell to here. It would have been close. Here, you could see how many times it covered the 229. Here, covered them. Here, covered them. Multiple times it's covered them in a month. You have to have a good signal. Don't bet it all. If you've seen many of the charts I post, I have no trouble at all showing how small my lot size is. I'm not trying to get, rich off Forex. Grains of sand add up. Use the monthly charts. Use a signal that you can rely best, within reason, that you know on average how long it's going to run. This one here, EURJPY. Now on this, I don't know what the lines are apart, but they're whatever the EURJPY. Okay, the margin required for the EURJPY is $229 also. However, 100 pips only pays $86 here in the States. So we need 263 pips to double our 229. If you know the tick value, if you know how the tick value works and the cost of a pip, you know what that's all about. If you don't, well, it'll be a different video. So these here, hang on, I forgot already. What, 263? Yeah, 263. These lines here are 263 apart, and I got it on the monthly. These lines here are 263 apart, which is how many pips you need to double your $229 margin required. There you could have done it in 2 days. It's rare. Look at the number of days here. Now, of course, these lines can be adjusted up or down. They're just there to give you a guideline. Now, if you would have sold there, you could have made your 229. You know, it would have took you a long time, but we've already said it's going to take a long time in days. Let's look at the weekly. Same principle. The exception is now these lines are 263 pips. See here, if you would have bought, just say for instance here, look how many weeks it would have taken before you would have made your 263 pips this time. It takes a while. Let's go to the monthly. That's the weekly. Let's go to the monthly. Okay, here again, we're back in the, oh, I see one right there you'd have lost for sure. Well, I guess you would have lost, depending on where you sold it. You're back in the monthly ATR, which you get you see a lot more pips during the month. And the monthly bar, that's the monthly bar. See there, if you'd have been buying, if you'd have bought there, you know, you easily crossed a month there, easily crossed a month. The required 263 pips, I mean. Here, if you'd have been selling during this period of time, that one easily crossed. This one did not cross. It did not cross the two lines. Here, easily crossed. Here, easily crossed. Here, easily crossed. It's the same principle. Now, the yen pairs, they don't do as well for me with the TSR. For some reason, they don't do as well. But same principle. We're still trying to double our margin required, $229. In this case, we needed 263 pips because the Euro JPY here in the States only pays $86 for 100. So you need more pips. Okay. I'll expand on this later. This is just kind of like the beginning. That's enough of that.